Okay, so we're still on part B. Ndogi PLC has in issue 15% bonds of a nominal value of 1,000 kwacha. The market price is 850 kwacha x interest. Colleagues, do we remember what this x interest means? Corporate tax is 20% per year. Okay, so required calculate the cost of this capital if the bond is A, irredeemable, two, if it's redeemable. Now, yes, colleagues, before I start, this X interest, what does this mean, colleagues? No, 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 sir. You are the one who has actually invested in these things here. So I recommend you should say it. Okay. Does anybody remember what I said when we say X interest? Okay, X interest means if you buy this bond, okay, you buy this bond, then you sell it to another person, right? That person who you're selling to won't receive the first interest payment. They'll receive the interest payment next year. You who have sold it to him, you receive that interest payment. Okay. So if Mr. Kasono buys a bond and sells it to Mr. Chimunya, Mr. Kasono will get the interest payment for that year, and Mr. Chimunya will get the interest payment starting next year. Is that okay, colleagues? A second-hand bond. Yeah, it's more. Yes, you can think of it like yes, you can think of it like that. You can think of it like that, Mr. Tom. Yes. So remember for irredeemable debt, the formula is very easy. Okay. It's this one. Annual interest payments, one minus the tax rate over the market price. How you get the annual interest payment? It's the interest rate multiplied by the par value. Colleagues, what is this par value? What does the par value mean? And when you hear this word coupon payment, what does this also mean? Which is also the same as what's the other name we use? Par value, nominal value, face value. Yes, 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 yes. So what does this mean, colleagues? Wonderful. The amount you get when the bond matures. Yes. Oh, that's Madam Kathy? No, 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 no. Say no. When you respond when you ask that first. Okay. Then whenever you hear coupon, it's just interest. Okay, interest coupon payment, interest payment, coupon rate. You actually see the word as coupon rate. Just know that that's the interest rate. Okay, colleagues. Yes. So 15% of 1,150 kwacha. Okay. So following the formula, interest payment 150, one minus the tax rate 20%. Okay. 0.2. Okay, colleagues. What does this 1 minus t signify in the formula? Before I continue tabulating, this 1 minus t, what does it signify? Okay, as you are remembering, okay, as you remember, mhm. Okay, Mr. Chimunya, continue, please. Mhm. Okay. What you've said is very true. Yes, don't worry. I'm going to translate what he said. Yes. Mhm. Mhm. Yes, the interest rate can be annually or it can be semi-annually. Okay. In this question, they haven't told us it's semi-annual. Okay, colleagues, they haven't told us. So please don't do that. Okay, please. This is a request, unless they say semi-annual. Okay. So yes, colleagues, what is being discussed here is that bonds can pay you interest annually or semi-annually. If you're being paid the interest semi-annually, what you're supposed to do is this. This is information for fourth year. So please never forget it. Yes. If the bond is the interest is semi-annual, what you're supposed to do, colleagues, is that interest rate you need to divide it by two. Okay, so that 15% would have divided it by two. Then in the formula for calculating the value of the bond, the time you have to multiply it by two. But that's just for your general knowledge for tonight. Okay, colleagues? Yes. It's not part of the question here. It's just some important information which you need to know about bonds that they pay interest annually and semi-annually. Okay. Yes. Let's just head back to the question. Madam Yvonne, is that okay? All right. It's just but you need to know that information, Madam Yvonne, because remember, accounting and finance, four courses where you see this. Four. All right. So, but my question wasn't answered first, colleagues. But anyway, let me do this tabulation. So the tax, yes, the question wasn't answered. Yes. Okay. Let me just solve first. Okay. So yes, you subtract 1 minus the zero point 0.2, you get 0.8. 0.8 times 150, you get 120. Then you divide by the market price of 850. 120 divided by 850, you get 0.1412. All right, which you can convert into 14.12%. That is the cost of the debt for the irredeemable bond. Yeah, this is the cost of debt financing, or the minimum return the person who's going to purchase your bonds is going to want. Okay? Anything less than 14, they are not giving you any money. Okay? Any return less than 14, they're going to say, no, we're not investing in you. Yes. Any questions, colleagues, before we go to redeemable debt? Okay. If calculate the cost of debt if the bond is redeemable at par after 7 years. Okay, so we use this formula. This is called the yield to maturity formula. You can also use it to calculate the cost of debt. Okay. If you don't want to use this method, then you can use this, like the way you do the, what's this, what do you call that? The internal rate of return. You can use that method also to calculate the cost of debt. Okay. Yes. So here's the formula. Cost of debt. Okay. Then the annual after-tax interest payment. Okay, I forgot to put payment. Annual after-tax interest payment plus the redemption value or the par value or the maturity value or even the face value. Okay, so let me just put par value so that people do not call me at 03 asking, sir, what's the difference between par and redemption value when they're the same thing, colleagues? Okay. They are just the same thing in this case. So the par value minus the market price over the number of years to maturity over the par value plus the market price over 2. Colleagues, will we be able to remember this formula? No. You know the trick of this formula? This part, like for me, how I mastered it, this part and this part are almost similar. Okay. So that on top here, have you seen there is a minus and here there is a plus. The another denominator is the years to maturity here and here it is 2. And then just remember this other side is just the interest payment. Okay, colleagues? You just put the interest payment par minus market price over years over par plus market price over 2. Okay. Yes. So we already calculated this interest payment. All right, that 150 multiplied by 1 minus 0.2. Okay, you bring it here. Plus, okay, the par value 1000 minus the market price 850 by the number of years 7 years divided by par value again 1000 plus 850 divided by 2. Okay. Then order of operations. Okay, colleagues, order of operations. Remember, you always start with the brackets. Okay, so here you do 1 minus 0.2, 0.8. 1000 minus 850, 150. 1000 plus 850, 1850. Okay, divided by 2. Here is divided by 7. So you're going to say 150 divided by 7, 21.142. 150 times 0.8, 120. 1850 divided by 2, 925. Okay, then you see 120 plus 21.42, 141.42. Divided by 925, 0.1528. Okay, which is 15.28%. Okay, that is the cost of debt using this formula, yield to maturity formula. Yes. Any questions? Okay. So if you want to use the internal rate of return technique, you first calculate the interest payment. Then on your table, it will be like this. I'm not going to do the full tabulation, but you have year zero, you have your cash flows. Remember, you have your cash flow here, discount factor, and present value, PV here. Okay. Thing in year zero, you put the market price of the bond. Okay, assuming that you're buying this bond, so you put negative 850. Okay, negative 850. Then from year one to year seven, you'll be receiving interest payments. Okay, the 150 interest payments. Then in year seven, you're going to receive the thing, this the par value. Uh-huh. You receive the par value here, 1,000. Then I believe your discount factor should be 15%. So you just do that same formula. I mean, you do this, get a positive net present value, a negative one, then you use the internal rate of return formula again. That A plus, how's this, MPV over whatever, whatever, whatever. Ooh, I think that one can take long in the exam, colleagues. Colleagues, which one would you prefer to do in the exam? Using this formula or you do the internal rate of return? Yeah, because yes, colleagues, yes, our advice using the internal rate of return, it will take some time. Okay, it will take some time. Okay, yes, I think what you do is just use this formula here. Okay, I'll make some practice questions so that you can practice this and remember it. Yes. Any questions before?